Willie, what was yesterday's practice like after ending that winning streak and playing well? Was it different, or is it just
Ended a
business
winning
as usual?
streak.
Ending the losing streak with a win.
No, it was a good practice. A lot of smiles. Guys running around a little bit with a little pep in the step. I think we all know when you win, you just got a different vibe around here, and it was good to see our guys back in that vibe, back in that mode, and seemed like we, seemed like we got our confidence back, and guys were focused.
Taj looked so good in that running back role on Saturday. What do you envision his role being going forward? More of a slot guy still, or back to running back?
Well, we're considering where we're at with our offense. We're just trying to find ways to get the ball in our playmakers' hand to try to continue to create offense for our guys and make some plays, be able to move the ball. And last week we thought the way we used him was a good way for Taj. And we got to continue to find ways to get him the ball. The kid is very talented and electrifying when he has the ball in his hand. So every which way we can get it to him, we got to find a way to do that. Again, to help us create some offense.
On the left, Tyson.
What did going through some of the losses that you did during your first two rebuilding projects teach you about just keeping guys' confidence up, or essentially what did you learn from that you're able to use now?
Well, one is it's hard when you take over a program because usually you're taking over a program that's been losing. So there's a culture there, and usually that culture where it's all negativity and just no energy or no excitement. And so the one thing we try to do is be positive and energetic and focus on the things that we need to in order to get better, and not just the overall or just losing. We focus on the things that causing us to lose and work really hard. And a lot of times it's a challenge because it's not just the players, it's coaches as well. Because a lot of time when you take over, you have new coaches. I look at our coaches here. A lot of these guys hadn't been part of a losing streak from some of the places they've come from, and so keeping them upbeat and excited too is a challenge. It's just human nature when things aren't going your way to get down and out and just always go back. There's a right and the wrong way to handle adversity, and a negative and a positive way to do it. And we try to lean on the positive way and just work on getting better because there's always another opportunity until the last game.
All right, Preston.
Coach, you had mentioned that you thought you guys could still win without Justin. You just needed everyone to play better around Braxton. After kind of watching the film, what was different about the rest of the team around Braxton that allowed you guys to play better?
Well, I think it all started with the energy. We had unbelievable energy on the sideline, and really starting Friday, I felt it Friday, just our mood in practice and just how guys was flying around and upbeat. It was totally different than past 3 weeks. And so you had a good feeling then that something different was going to be in this game. And then on Saturday, just same thing. They moved. They were walking around with a lot of confidence, in themselves. And then just to feel that energy on the sideline and how guys were really locked into what we wanted to get accomplished. It made difference in the ball game. They were really focused on getting each other better, themselves better. I think each individual committed themselves to doing that, and it made a world of a difference for us in that ball game.
Willie, considering the way your offense had played the last couple of weeks, how big was it for your defense to have the type of performance they had? It seemed like, kept holding Utah to those field goal attempts, and then even that one touchdown they scored was sort of kind of a fluke play.
Yeah, it was big. Not only was our offense struggling, our defense was struggling too. We were giving up 30 points or more in that losing streak. So we were just struggling all over, and it was just so important that we all play better. And that's what we saw out of our football team, that everybody played better on both sides of the ball. And I think with our defense, what we saw was the passion and the energy that they were playing with. It's like after every play, guys were celebrating with each other and excited about being out there. And that makes a world of a difference when you're out there. It's hard to stop people, and you got to have fun while you're doing it. And we challenged our guys to go back to having fun. That's when we were playing really well early in the year. We were having fun. And we challenged our guys to keep them out of the end zone. We're getting better in a lot of areas. We wasn't getting better at keeping them under 30 points a game and challenge our guys. Let's keep them out the end zone. And it was great because we challenged them, and they did a hell of a job of doing that. Besides that fluke play you talked about, they did a hell of a job of keeping them out of the end zone when Utah got down there. They got down there a couple of times, and we held them to a field goal, and then they missed a field goal one time. And it was great, too, because we fumbled the ball on our side of the field, and that's something that had killed us in the past where teams get the ball and they score. And our defense stepped up to the challenge when that time came. And that's how we got to be as a defense, and not feel bad because those things happen, but be excited about the challenge of what we have a chance to accomplish during that moment.
You guys had one of the best rushing performances of the year. Your tight ends caught touchdown passes, but how important were they in that factor of running the ball so well?
Our tight end is critical in our offense. They're an extension of our offensive line when it comes to the running game, and they're important to us in the pass game. And it was good for us to get them involved in the pass game, because they hadn't been involved as much as I would like for them to be. And it was good for them to make some catches and again, to show that we have some tight ends that can do that for us. But they always been critical for us in the run game all season long, and it's great. It's really great to be lining up beside probably the best offensive tackle in the country, and Terrell Crosby. The kid is unbelievable. He's a big-time player, and he's a war daddy.
Willie, it seemed like there was a big emphasis last week on watching film as a team. Did you guys do that again yesterday, and do you foresee that being normal each week?
No, we didn't do it yesterday. It was just for me. Again, I just wanted to get away from everything. I had the sense that everything was pointed towards Braxton of why we wasn't winning, and that wasn't the case. The case we wasn't winning because we wasn't playing well as a team. And I wanted to show our guys that I felt like our defense needed to see all the other guys that was making mistakes on the offense side of the ball. So our defense guys wouldn't think, well, it's just Braxton why we were not winning. They saw that it was multiple guys, a reason why we wasn't winning. And then on the flip side, offensively too, not thinking, okay, defense is just playing well and these guys are just doing great. There's a lot of guys that so-called playing well that make some big-time mistakes for us that's killing us, and they got to play better than what they're doing. And it was just great to put it all out there in front of everyone. And you always stress as a coach that we got to play as a team, we got to do this, and sometimes you can talk about it and you don't give guys any specifics. But that was really good for everyone to see that. Even coaches, we admitted, oh, we could have did this better, or we could have did that better. But to put it all out there so everyone can see it and know that we just all had to do a better job with ourselves, get ourselves right, and then everything else will work out. It was great because our guys responded to it, and it showed them that we can win against a good football team even without our best quarterback. And I was really excited about our guys being able to accomplish that and showing that they can get it done.
Willie, you've been linked to the Florida opening, and there's even a report out of Florida by a lawyer who said that you've been contacted, or at least your representation. Just care to address that?
I have not been contacted by anyone. The only AD I've been contacted by is Rob Mullins, and I love that guy. I am committed to the University of Oregon and focus on Washington, a big-time game for us this week. And I ask our players and coaches to be focused and committed to that, and that's what I'm committed to as well. And again, you guys know how those things work better than I do, but have not been contacted by anyone.
How do you handle that stuff with your team? Do you try to address it head on with like a team meeting, kind of tell guys, hey, no, or do you just, I don't know, how do you go about telling your team that you are committed?
Our guys know they can ask me anything, and I'm always honest and real with our guys, so if they ask me about it, I tell them the truth, But other than that, I'm same guy that I've been every week, and come to work, try to put a plan together and go out and execute it, and that's what we're trying to do. We have a big-time game this week with University of Washington that we need all of our focus locked into that and not anything else that's going to distract us from that. We support no cause, foreign or domestic. other than winning this week.
Right, on the right.
Willie, how much milk would Justin have to drink this week to play against Washington?
I'm not sure. He's been drinking a lot, and he's getting better, And look, we're gonna put Justin out there when we feel like he's ready to go. Again, we're not gonna do anything to jeopardize him. If he's ready this week, we'll play him, and if not, then we won't, But we're gonna continue to practice him and let him continue to get better. But we're not gonna put him out there in harm's way and let him re-injure himself. So. I don't know how much milk that's going to take, but he's been drinking it, and it's been helping, and he's healing really quick.
Well, you already mentioned how big of a game the Washington is. What have you heard from maybe even fans or players talk about what this game sort of means to them? And for you, it's sort of your first rivalry game here at Oregon.
Well, I know how I know the feelings when it comes to Oregon and Washington. I've heard that from day one, what it's like. But I don't consider this as the first rivalry game for them. I think every game we play is a rival game, and that's the way it's got to be. If we're going to try to get to where we want to go, we can't just make one game bigger than the other. If we do that, we'll never get to where we want to go. All these games are huge, and again, it's the next game on the schedule for us, and it's big for us to continue to build our program and go where we're trying to go. We got 3 ball games left, and we feel like if we play at our best, we can win them all, and which would be awesome for our football team and our seniors to go out and double their win totals from last year. But that won't happen unless we're totally focused on what we got to do and play at our best.
Can the run pass balance that you guys used to beat Utah work against a defense as good as Washington's?
Utah is a pretty good defense as well. I think again, if we're playing at our best, it can work against anyone. But we got to play at our best, and we need to against the University of Washington. They're a well-coached football team, a team that understands what it takes to win. And again, for us, we got to be at our best at everything we do. And if we do that, then I like our chances.
Coach, Brady Brees had a lot of run on special teams earlier this year, but what do you see from him and a lot of snaps on the defensive side of the ball this week?
Brady's getting better each and every week, and it was good to see him, especially last week, come in and be really physical. We really like his physicality out there, and he's getting comfortable with what we're asking him to do when he's playing safety, and you can tell when he's comfortable and understand what he's doing, he does it really well, So I think playing on special team has really helped him, just understanding the speed of the game and getting confidence in himself, and now it's starting to pay off for him as he played the safety position for us.
On the right, Andrew.
Scott Pagano's missed the last couple games, and I don't think I saw lumping in with that Doug Brenner last week at practice. Do you guys have an update on their status?
Doug is out for the rest of the season with a hip injury. That's been bothering him for a while, so he had surgery this week on it, and he's out. Scott kind of had the same injury as Royce on his shoulder a couple weeks after the Stanford game. So I guess we'll see on Tuesday if he's ready to play or not. Our defensive line been playing pretty well.
Willie, even though you weren't here, will you use what happened last year against Washington as motivation for this year's team?
No, I won't use it as motivation. Maybe our players will, but I'm going to stay focused on us and trying to get us better and doing the things that we need to do in order to win the ball game, But I'm sure any competitor out there, though, wouldn't forget what happened and want to make sure that they're at their best when they go in and play that opponent again. And that's our jobs this week, is to make sure we're at our best to see to it that what happened last year don't happen again.
Andrew on the right.
Just to follow up on Scott, I mean, when he signed, there was huge expectations for him, and obviously hasn't gone the way he probably expected. How do you feel like he's handled it? Obviously, a fairly disappointing injury-filled season.
Again, he hadn't played much, so really hadn't had a chance to see everything he can do. And like you say, he got hurt, so he's been out rehabbing and trying to get back, and hopefully he can get back and help our football team. And if not, hopefully get healthy and get himself ready. But we got to make sure we're locked in with the guys that's out there helping us right now, So hopefully he can get back and help us in these next 3 ball games.